I want to share with you something that's been coming up both for myself and a lot of my clients that I think is really worth working through right now and reworking and switching up. This tends to get in the way of people who try to manifest, who try to create realities. So, a lot of us who grew up with some form of trauma, some sort of emotional trauma, psychological, mental, any kind of abuse. We grow up with the implicit belief that no matter what we do, suffering has to be involved. Whatever it is that you're doing, whatever it is you're trying to achieve or accomplish or work towards, there is this belief that it has to be hard, it has to be painful, that no pain, no gain, right? It's not actually true. And if you really pause and process that, you may discover something that your brain can't receive right at that moment. Because, of course, you're going to be like, no, of course, there's things that are easy. But this belief tends to be very, very deeply ingrained. And how it shows up, I mentioned manifestation when you're trying to manifest, but it also shows up day to day, which is why I'm saying it's so important to process it and rework that. Not just process to understand, oh, yeah, that's how I am, that's what I do, but actually change something there. And to change something there requires mindfulness, requires a choice, making a choice in the moment. So to backtrack from there, it first requires catching yourself at it. I've been talking about this in other videos, right? First, you have to notice. The first step is acknowledging you have a problem, right? So you first have to catch yourself. So how you may start is when you find yourself in kind of a wonky mood, or for some people, it's as soon as they wake up in the morning, they're like, okay, what's going to go wrong today? What are we doing? What's going to be a problem? Or your mind might start remembering yesterday's problems. Like, all right, what am I supposed to suffer about today? You're not actually saying those words, but that's where you're at. And so when you notice yourself being in kind of a strange mood, difficult thoughts, ask yourself, am I seeking out pain right now for some habitual reason? Am I seeking it out? Is pain necessary right now? Because we grew up with this energy of vigilance. You're watching for what could go wrong. If you had, let's say, an alcoholic parent, this is like the most obvious example, but it happens in so many other ways and in so many other realms. If you had to watch your parents' mood, right? If you didn't know whether you'd be in trouble from one moment to the next, right? Things like that will ingrain in you this belief of like, I have to keep looking. Well, like, where is it? Where is it? Right. And so if you really think about it, right? Does anybody teach you to seek out happiness? Does anybody teach you to sit down or not even sit down, just walk around and go, how good can it get? Like, how good is my day going to be today? Or even, hey, I'm going into this meeting. How well can this go? Right? That we have to teach ourselves. That we have to go to videos like this and go figure out, wait, I don't actually do that. We do have the negative bias. It's survival based, right? Again, based in early childhood where you did have to survive. You did have to work on your way of being to match your family, to match your surroundings, to match where you were, to make sure that you got what you needed, that you weren't, ostracized, punished, in trouble, what have you, right? Where were you going to learn that, hey, things are going to be great? What are we going to look for that's fantastic today, right? So catching yourself, and again, this may be literally the moment you wake up. Is your brain seeking out what could go wrong today? Or, oh, what am I supposed to, that stupid meeting's coming up. Or, oh, this task, it's going to be hard, right? And so you're not going to necessarily be able to undo the negative bias, right? Because it does serve us in a lot of ways. You don't want to walk down a dark alley. I'm a stupid example because nobody's going to do this, but I'm specifically choosing something a little absurd to drive my point home, right? You're not going to walk down a dark alley and go, I wonder if there's a bunny in here, right? I wonder if my best friend is hiding in that corner there and is going to jump out at me with my birthday cake, you know? So the negative bias does serve us in certain situations. The point is to see whether you are over applying that unconsciously, kind of wholesale, not just walking into a room or walking into a meeting, but like I said, waking up in the morning. I think it's really worthwhile to check in with yourself when you're in kind of a down mood, or you're worried about something, right? Something may be coming up. Ask yourself, am I seeking out pain? Am I looking for it? Because it's what I'm used to do. And then magic moment, magic, very hard. Magic is not easy. But then if you catch yourself like, oh, wait, there's nothing actually wrong. Can I enjoy this? Am I allowed? Right? Ask yourself that. Maybe you'll discover you feel like you're not allowed. Other people are allowed to have a good time. Other people are allowed to enjoy something, but not you. And then why not? Why not you? What is it about you that makes you not be allowed to enjoy something, right? And then the magic is, can you shift yourself into a different state? Now, here's the tricky part, okay? This is where discernment is so important, because if you are in a down mood because of some actual emotion that you're sitting with, something's come up, you got triggered, a memory came up, right? This is not about pushing those feelings away, not at all. This is about acknowledging where you recreate an old feeling habitually that actually isn't needed here, that actually isn't serving you. It's serving some past that isn't here anymore, where you're looking for the pain, where you're looking for the negative, or where you simply believe that you're supposed to be suffering right now for some reason, right? That you don't have to keep over as your, permanent house guest, right? You can evict that one, right? That's where the shift is necessary. And that's where a lot of people get it wrong, where they'll either say, well, you can't push any feeling away, you can't move out of any feeling, right? Or they'll say the opposite, which is, forget it. Every feeling, every negative feeling is bad and wrong, and let's get rid of it and choose happiness, right? No, 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 no. Discernment is so important, right? A real feeling, acknowledge it, right? If a traumatic feeling came up, a memory came up, somebody triggered you, and now you're mired in that. That's a very different thing from what I'm talking about, right? What I'm talking about is this habitual stance where you seek out pain. So this is the kind of thing that I work with clients on, among many people who are working on manifesting, people who are working on stepping into their spiritual gifts, people who are wanting to go deeper and connect with their guides, connect with their spiritual, whatever wording you want to use, right? Whether it's guides or whether it's your own higher self, whether it's spirit. This is the kind of thing that I help people pinpoint in their lives. Where are they avoiding their authentic self with habitual patterns? And then I help them shift those patterns. So if you'd like to work with me, you're welcome to visit my website, deeperstokehealing.com. I do have a couple of openings right now for clients. I would love to see you there. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.